90% of that FBI agency probably going, I was at that party too.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Yeah. And
Yeah, they were probably,
politicians and judges and
yeah.
you run into your priest.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Hey, it's your boy Dustin from the Flying Chariots, the Rise podcast. And today I got a special guest here with me for the fourth time, Heidi Popp. How you doing, Heidi?
I'm still getting old.
You haven't aged an A. What are you talking about?
Thanks for having me again. This is a treat. Thanks, Dustin.
Yeah. No, today I thought we'd just kick the shit today. I haven't talked to you in a while and just wanted to catch up with you. And you're always up to new projects, doing stuff with the kids that you're doing with the school. Maybe if you could just, maybe update us on what you're doing with that. And if there's any upcoming, well, there's a holiday, Halloween's coming up. I'm pretty sure you got some ideas and plans. So yeah, I'm excited to hear all about it. So what's new?
Okay,
what's new in your world, Heidi?
Oh my gosh. It's so funny. It's only been like a month hiatus of being online. I was kicking it. I was like, what, 4 weeks? We were always seeing each other online and I went MIA. I had to start getting my mind right. And I was preparing my classroom. And we started 3 weeks ago. I'm about to go into the 4th week. So I have my rhythm now. And and I'm missing my peeps. So this is a real big treat.
Yeah.
Some of my parents watch my stuff. So that's what's really fun too. They get it. They love the woo. And some really love all the stories, the ET stories, the Bigfoot stories, all the stories. But more than anything, it's such a magical classroom where we bring in energy and, that kind of stuff, frequency, energy, the woo. So that's where my head's at. And so, yeah, when you asked me a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, yes, I need to talk again.
Well, you're so talkative in general, so I think you just need to spew your guts and vent and keep up with everybody, because everybody lives vicariously through you. So,
or they learn what not to do or not to say.
True.
Sometimes, so I vlog. I'm trying to get my weekly vlogs in.
Yes.
Sometimes they turn into events. And was that out loud moments? Did I really say that? And other times it's just the sweet little care share. So you never know what you're gonna get.
Sure. I actually want to get into doing vlogs myself and doing this, just doing little short videos and just maybe doing it outside, different sceneries and stuff like that.
Yes, you need to do that.
Yeah.
You absolutely and I love your little animated videos and the rock star stuff. That's really cool.
Like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm all about the eye candy.
Yeah. That's so cool. Oh, candy. Speaking candy, Halloween. Yeah. So yes, I actually am. It's so funny you said that. I'm staring at it now. I have this little shelf of all my resources and things, but there's a whole huge chunk already getting ready for Halloween because our school day falls on Halloween. And we don't wear costumes. We're not doing media. They can wear black or, they can do somewhat. However, Miss Heidi breaks the rules. And I'm getting my stuff together. I have these really cool witch brew books, like witchy books and cauldrons and candles. And I'm going to surprise the heck out of them. Last year, we had an outdoor classroom and I was hidden in the woods. I made a little circle of stumps and I had a huge cauldron with dry ice. And
cool.
I had a full witch outfit and I can hear them coming up the path. My assistant, I told her, I said, tell them I'm not here today or I'm late. I'm running late because I usually walk them in and they're like, where's Miss Heidi? Where's Miss Heidi? And I hear them coming up and I do my little witch laugh and they were like, and they come in my little space like, come here, little children. And I'm doing my little brew and I tell them a story and they're like, and then they leave. It was so funny. And I'm telling you, Dustin, my improv took off. I took this old school story, but then I just freaking went with it. And I'm like, I got to make it about kids. So they're floating in the what was it? Floating in the smog in the river and things are chasing them. And the kids were like, this is supposed to be a sweet school. And I was freaking them out. They still talk about it.
Oh, that's
And I'm
awesome.
like, yeah, I was like, I know, I really wish I was there that day. And they're like, it was you. I'm like, what are you talking about? So this time I totally gaslight them. I'm like, sorry, kids. So this year they're going to come in the room. I have a classroom inside the building. So I'm going to just do my desk, like a huge witch, like cover it in nets and cobwebs all over and do the whole thing, candlelight everywhere. And they're going to come in again. And this time I bought all these tiny vials and we're going to make our own little potions.
Oh, cool.
Like I'm gonna ask them like what their dream is. Do they want to fly? Do they want people to tell the truth? Like, and like, okay, you need a little sprinkle of this and a little toenail and
Toad's tongue.
yeah, toad's tongue. I'm gonna come up with some really wacky things. And then the lesson, because you got to throw in a little academic. I'm gonna be like, no, go write down your recipe in your best cursive or something.
Oh, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like there's some writing, and then we'll do fractions. I'm like, oh, a quarter of this and a pinch of that, and boom, there's the lesson.
that
Yeah.
is awesome,
Isn't it
Heidi.
awesome?
That's
I can't wait
super
I'll
creative.
send the pictures. Yeah.
Yes. No, it makes, again, learning a lot more fun and just to get the
Yes.
imagination flowing, especially if these kids
Yeah.
are special in the beginning to be there in the first place. It kind
Yeah.
of just opens their world a little bit more. So that's
Yes.
really, really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's this one little girl who she lives in Harry Potter world. Like everything she talks to and does, like she is a walking book. So she calls me Dumbledore and she calls her
Really?
friends are the characters and she's slightly, I mean, I don't know if you'd call her autistic. I never label them, but
Sure.
she's like in this world of it and we're like I'm like, "Mr. Potter, like, do you know the answer to this?" Well, yes, I do. Like like I play along.
That's cool.
So it's kind of special. It's sweet. I get to push the boundaries in this
Yeah,
class. So
that's
yeah,
the best part about it.
that's the
And
best
then,
part.
yeah. Does she like have a little lightning bolt that she draw in her head every day?
No, but you
She
know what?
should.
I'll probably write one on her on Halloween. Maybe I'll
Yeah, that'd
do
be
that.
great.
Yeah, I'll do
That's
something
great.
like that. I wish my daughter, she's in 8th grade. I wish it was Halloween this week because they're visiting a taxidermist and they're doing
Oh, weird.
dissecting. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So they're learning about the anatomy, but they're like taking things apart, like a turkey neck they
Wow.
did, and then there's gonna be a cow eyeball, and you're gonna stuff
Whoa.
something at the tax. Like you could time this better at Halloween.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow. I just
Isn't that
remember back in
crazy?
I remember back in high school it was the fetal pigs that we were dissecting. I thought that was pretty gnarly at the time.
Oh,
I
that
was,
is gnarly.
yeah,
Yeah, we were frogs.
yeah,
That was but it was interesting. I was
yeah.
like, wasn't so grossed out. I was more like, "Oh, oh, okay. That's what it looks like." The smell, like, you can't get rid of the smell, though,
Yeah, sure.
formaldehyde.
And hats off to the people who do like to do that or even do like surgeries. Like just
Yeah.
it takes another mindset to get in there, be serious, save this person's life, and knowing what you're doing inside that person.
Yes.
Man, it's just so
I
much
know. With, like, seconds to spare. Yeah,
seconds to spare. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. So, yeah, it's a fully immersive place, so, yeah, I'm thinking ahead. Like, Halloween, perfect.
Well, you do such good voice uh characters too. It's just not, I'm surprised you haven't said brains. You don't have a job.
You know what? I did show him that character because I in my in my
That's why I
drama
got
little
bad
drama.
whiplash.
And I did. I told him that.
Yeah.
Like it was my Thursday crew, which is I have a class that's 19 kids, but on Thursday there's only 7 of them. A lot of parents just choose to stay homeschooling. So I made an hour drama and they think they're the Breakfast Club. They just think it's like they can do whatever they want. I'm like, okay, we're still doing things, but I let them sit on the desks and like we do change a couple rules, but I
Mhm.
I do have them again with the teaching. I ask them to fill a jug with like either a noun in blue, a verb in red, adjectives, and then they're supposed to pick and then act it out. And so they weren't quite getting it. And I wrote on the board, I go, let's say there's a barista, a lady who works at a coffee shop. She turns into a zombie. Would she walk like this? Or would she be like, "Ah, ah, ah," like going crazy? And they're like, she'd be caffeinated. I'm like, yeah.
Perfect.
There's always a callback.
Yes, that's great. Uh,
That's so
yeah,
funny. Yeah, I have
yeah,
fun in
yeah,
there. I
yeah.
gotta have
Because
fun.
again, I watch that video all the time. I can't help myself just because I know you, and you do such a great job, and it's such a great skit. It's SNL worthy. It's too fucking funny. I just
Oh, you're
awesome.
so cute. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
You would have
yeah.
loved what the heck was her name? So I was in a troupe, an improv troupe in North Hollywood on Linkersham, and it was called Slow Children at Play, and it was the sign of a slow children crossing, and we were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're slow children then, and so, but Mrs. Something. Well, there were two characters. One though was Mrs. Something, and she was like the prescription pill addicted, trophy wife. And so
Sure,
she was just everything was like about she was like a Stepford wife zombie
sure.
dropping her little clutched purse, and then pills would go all over the stage, and like it was hysterical. Some of the characters we do is yeah, I take them off of people I've met in real life. So like my
Oh, cool.
Aunt Trudy, I always did this preschool teacher who was really like like pigtails all over the place, like just cracked out. Like, come on, yes, like Happy Gilmore's. She was my favorite.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, overalls, yeah. So, yeah. I guess I'm educating your children, people. It's
Oh,
so
that is
funny.
hilarious.
I have a good
Man,
time.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh,
had
so speak.
yeah.
No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, Wisconsin. So
Yeah.
my sister is like, focus on what you do during the day and come to Wisconsin every summer and host a summer camp. So we're going to try to kick that off in
Oh.
Door County. And, it might be like start like a 2 week and then a 4 week. And then I'm going to start implementing it. And then, have you seen that little, you might be too young, Dustin, but the Magic School Bus? Do you remember the Magic
Oh,
School
come
Bus?
on. I know that. Of course. I
Well,
was
a
born
little
in
crazy.
84.
There you go, there you go. A
Yeah.
crazy lady like that, I'd go
Oh,
to
yeah.
town and do these little camps, like,
Oh,
"Woo!"
yeah.
and set it up, and so, yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
little
Why
opportunity.
couldn't you take your little school on the road? Seriously, because
Exactly.
you were doing it outdoors and a few times. So I was like,
Exactly.
holy shit.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like and what I could do is, it could be marketed as people can turn their own learning centers into a formula like this, or it could be a special event. So, just
Oh,
there's so many ways to just show people how you can bring in all the woo and the magic, but
yes.
still educate kids. So, because my sister's like, build a whole year curriculum. I'm like, hell no, I'm too lazy. And
Yeah, I
I'm,
was gonna
I'm
say
like,
that's
I go,
tedious as hell.
that's tedious, but I'm also just doing it, and you have to the point of it of how we work at our learning center is the children are teaching us how they want to be taught. It depends on their
Sure.
energy, what they bring to the table, so it's always adapting. So there really is no one formula. So yeah, I'm like, I just have to do it in person. So I'm
Yeah.
going to travel like a magic school bus.
We have
That'd be
a
fun.
we have a school here. I remember just going, it's a high school, but it's kind of like a alternative high school where it's called Shabazz, where all the kind of the bad kids go. But it's more laid back classes where it kind of encouraged the kids to stay in school. So like all the
Oh,
classrooms would
nice.
have like couches and like cool art on the wall, maybe graffiti stuff, just kind of like, you know, people
That's
don't think
smart.
it's cool to be in school, but they're trying to make it cool to be there, just to because you get kind of like more like instead of a desk, you actually get this, lay on a nice like leather couch or something like that, or
Hey, that's
just
awesome.
the kind of yeah, just to change the field of like I know that you have a bad rap and you kind of don't want to be here, but we're trying to help you, at least get your diploma and get your life
I
going.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely love it. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like
That's
sorry.
that was good. I just meant as child led, but you're talking about older kids, so just kid led
Sure.
learning.
Right.
Adapt to them what works for them, and then they'll soak in the knowledge because not every kid is able to sit in a desk. There's
Right.
just not.
Right.
I have
No.
balls, like the bouncy ball things in my room, and
Oh, cool.
sometimes I just pass one to a kid, like do this for 10 minutes, or the squishy seats with spikes, so it's really sensory, and they can just sit there and be like And
Yeah.
it works, and it's not a distraction if you don't let it be. Sorry, it's wobbly.
No,
So,
that's
yeah, we
cool.
have to adapt to them. Yeah, I like that you have that there. Yeah,
And
did
we
you go
had,
there?
and I did not know. I didn't.
Okay.
I was very fortunate to have my senior year. I had like one hippie teacher that was really kind of, he taught more differently than other teachers, but he like right in the beginning of the class, he'd had this like talking stick, and he'd like
Oh,
pass the
yeah.
talking stick around just to people who just share their day or share what they did over the weekend, or just something to get off their chest or something like that. This kind of, just to have everybody listen to that, and just to, I don't know. It was a weird. I never had anybody or seen anybody do that, and it was just
I
kind of
love
cool. And
that.
he was more laid back. He was a sandal guy, and he had his hair long. He dyed his hair like blue, and like I think the teachers even thought he was kind of messed up. Like, who is this guy? like,
It's
and
great.
yeah, no, I think that's where it's at too. Where like if, especially when the kids, especially I had senioritis bad. I didn't want to be there. I probably went to only the classes that like I knew I needed to get credits for. And I was a TA for one class. It was really cool. Gym.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, it was really cool. And
Nice.
I was just, again, I did skip a lot, but I did get my diploma at the end of the year. So I get,
That's great.
uh, no, but like
That's
guys like
great.
him made me want to go to that class. And I went
I
to film
love that.
studies. That's another one I went to a lot, because I was just like, yeah, we
Nice.
get to watch movies and get to like study about how they film and why they film, like what
Yep.
emotions are they trying to catch and stuff like that. That's where it's at. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't
Make it
like, and I don't like that.
interesting. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
that just structured,
Yeah.
learning, and everybody's getting packets. And no,
Yeah.
that's why I admire you and your outlook and format of how to teach these kids the way they want to learn, because there's something, a drive in them, and you kind of give them that little push too. Like, you can still have fun learning, you have to sit
Yes.
there and like, you could be
Yeah.
more hands-on with this stuff,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
that's so cool.
The whole key word is empowering them. We're supposed to empower a child to find their skills within them, and they're not all going to be the same. And it
Yes.
shows, and just having that kind of setting really changes the soul and psyche of a kid. We have a kid, well, in my son's grade, who's a year older than me, who came in from a public school. He had 6
Mm.
years in a public school, and he came into this, and we're like, we didn't know how he was going to fare. And all of a sudden, like, he just was kinda, like, fogged out. He
Mhm.
was, like, just very sedentary and really hesitant to try anything because he saw kids climbing trees at recess and running and playing and doing things, and he was just like, he had concrete for his playground, and he just didn't know what to do. And by
Uh,
the second week, he's catching lizards. He made his own net to catch lizards. He's, like, measuring them and comparing them, and he came from the beach towns too, so
oh,
we're
okay.
kind of a little more woodsy, and he's
Hmm.
just falling into the rhythm. What's
Cool.
interesting is when I see his mom at pickup and stuff, she sees the shift in him, but she's still a little programmed too, because she'll be like, I just don't want him to get behind. And I go,
Sure.
get behind in what exactly? Like,
Sure.
what's the thing? Like, do the state, does he have to score a certain way on the state so that their public school got a funding, or does he bloom a little bit and the light come back on? Like, get behind on what? So
Sure.
really trying to break those old stereotypes of what schooling looks like. And all you want is the light in the child bright so that he wants to come back and he finds something he likes and he's good at. I mean, he could be a zoologist one day, or like an animal killer. I don't know. Like,
We hope not.
lizards. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
lizards.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Headless.
Yeah, a leather
Uh,
maker.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. But no,
Mhm.
that's interesting. And yeah, you're right. I wish there was like high school just offered more, um necessary clubs, but classes maybe on certain things that are just maybe, I don't know, controversial. I
Yeah.
guess, I
Yeah.
don't know, because yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you want the kids to stay, and that's, I don't know. And when
Yep.
like, and the stuff that we teach in history class too, I was surprised to hear about Wisconsin having pyramids as the
Right?
land, and like
Isn't that amazing?
they didn't teach that shit
No.
in high school. And I was like, hmm, I think that's very important to me.
Yeah. Like, I would have stayed. I wouldn't have skipped.
Exactly. Exactly. I would have like
you
want to
know?
learn more and like actually go into that. Yeah. So as an adult, I'm finding out more about Wisconsin's archaeology that I think that we should have been learning in high school and stuff like that. Stuff that's
Absolutely.
right here. And it's just, again, it's just very structured and like what we feel like it's important to like, I don't know,
Yeah.
all the damn presidents and how they died and what in the hell no.
Yeah. I know. No, no, you're spot on with it because I'm watching another way of doing things, looking at my grade and my son's grade and my daughter's eighth. And what's presented to how it's presented to them, it starts with like mythology and like
Sure.
storytelling, but also temperaments. That's how history is introduced. And the educator does introduce with, well, this is what we've been told, and this is what's been
Sure.
passed down to us. What do you think about it? And like when my daughter gets into like US government and stuff, it's not memorize the systems. It's like, is it working? What would you do differently? Like they make them think about it a little and approach it in a new way. I know my son there was a mini lesson on Atlantis, and it was
Mm,
just like, what do you think? Did it exist? What did it lead to? And now it's Buddha, and I mean all these random the Egyptian gods, and I mean,
hmm.
it's fascinating, and they can just hear about so many different civilizations, but there is the thread of this is what we're told, and this is the information that was saved and preserved. Why wasn't anything else? What else could it have been? And it really gets them thinking. So it's not to not trust anything, it's just more critical thinking. Like they can
Yeah.
now, when someone gives them information, go, and what else? Not okay, memorize, done. That's all it is. They're like looking at the big picture and what happened before it and after it and what could have happened. And that creates like that's childhood learning. That creates inspiration. So
Yeah.
so many different ways. I mean, if this woo random motion picture gal can come in and lead a class, really anybody can do it. I think it's a temperament, but it's also the belief that these kids are smarter than we let them be. They really are smarter than we realize, and we have to prevent the numbing and dumbing down of them, and as much as we can.
Yeah. No, it'd be,
Yeah.
really, really, really cool. It'd be like do like a little mini documentary about what you do. And just have like really cool camera work and like just being
Oh yeah,
outside, you know
camera,
what I'm
follow
saying?
me. Heck yeah.
See this
Follow me
acorn?
all day.
No, I think it's really cool. Um
That'd be
just to
awesome.
see
Yeah.
how each child is doing what, you know, I think it'd
That would
just be
be
really cool. This
awesome.
is
Oh, I
some
would freaking love it. I think it would be have to a whole thing away from where I am though, because people are there for the privacy of it all. So
oh, sure, sure.
I'd have to, that'll be when I come to Wisconsin. Maybe you can help me do
Yeah,
that.
there we go. That'd be really cool. Yeah. I'm cool
Do you
with
know what?
kids.
You know, you'd be fun. You got the rubber face.
Yes. I'll be the
They just
clown. I do
You'd be
juggle. So
fascinated. Well, you'd be a walking art sculpture. Be
yeah, I'm
like,
like a human coloring
think.
book. So I was like, I'd have the kids get washable markers so they can just go to town.
Yes. Some
But they
of
had
us
to
there
but
have
they would have to
that,
make buzzing noises at the same time. Bzz, bzz. I want to be as real as possible.
fully immersive.
And they gotta be in the line. So I mean really mad.
I love that. Do
No,
you
just
know
kidding.
that there are a couple of our educators? My son's his has sleeves, and
Oh,
he's a
does he?
Viking. He's a total Viking. He's
Oh,
like
cool.
from that's his heritage and everything. I mean, like the lineage. Um, but he was saying the other place he worked, he had to cover everything. And he's
Hmm.
like, he goes, so he turned it around and he made sure to tell them about the ancient ways of doing tattoo and
Oh
inking
yeah,
and where it came
sure.
from. And so, and then the writings on the wall and hieroglyphics. There's so many ways to do things. So, oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Do you know my daughter? So she's 14 in eighth grade. And guess every year they do a really cool play or something
Mm.
immersive. But this year they're going to make a movie. That's their
Oh,
project.
cool.
Isn't that
Okay.
awesome?
What's the movie
They don't.
about? Do you know?
That's what they don't know yet. It's either
Oh,
like a
okay.
murder mystery or
Mm,
a western because we are in really cool terrain. We can film anywhere and it could be Mars.
that'd be cool.
So yeah, they have to, rent they get the equipment, figure out the
Do the
equipment and
scripts and all that.
make their
And
costume, everything. So
wow.
that's pretty dang cool. There was a boy 3 years ago, I think, that he did that for his final project, and he used some of the kids at the school to do it, and that was his final exam was showing it screened at a Lemley theater, and it was really funny. Could have used a few edits, but he wanted to show everything, and it was just clever. And of course that took him on a path. He's at a arts all arts high school now, and that's his thing. He loves it. It's kind of cool. My daughter's really taking to music and engineering, so
Oh,
she's
cool.
working on her final project. So the movie the whole class makes together, but each eighth grader has to do their own project that brings them bliss, or something that they are interested in that they don't know much about, because they have to find a mentor. So one of my tinfoil buddies works at a sound studio stage. Mostly rappers and stuff go there,
Hmm. Yeah.
but we're gonna go meet with an engineer and see what that whole thing's like in the sound booth. And she wants to do the cello, but do like modern music on a cello and lay the tracks and everything. And then because that would get very expensive, my brother's going to mentor as well and just set up like a little sound booth in our like a closet and have her do like, what is it, garage band or one of those things, like
Yep.
teach her that. So it's like really cool. It's like not something she would just do on her own. So she's like, well, I want to make an album. I'm like, what? Who are
Wow.
you? And I'm like, this is so cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that was a route she wanted to go.
Yeah.
And then the world just opens up. So I know
Yeah.
I go on tangents, but it's so exciting. It's been exciting, Dustin. It's exciting
Yeah.
to see what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And your kids are just growing up faster and faster. And the fact that
Oh
they're
my
getting
God.
into things, that's so awesome. Especially, I think you're like a big inspiration to them, I can imagine, just because the camera loves you and you love the camera.
They hate it though. Oh no, my son's a ham bone.
But no, you're just so animated and you're so full of life and positive energy. I don't see why your kids wouldn't want to be a part of that and just want to like,
Oh,
follow
you're
in their
so
footsteps of that.
sweet. Well, they
That's
also know I could cut a bitch, so if I have to. But they did see me stand up for them. They saw me leave motion picture. They saw me not put them in a certain school system. They saw me fight
sure,
for them
sure.
for their rights. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's
Ugh.
right.
And you do it with a wink and a smile.
That's right. So I was wondering, because you have some little dip into the Hollywood biz. What do you think
Yeah.
about P. Diddy and all that shit
Oh,
that's
I
happening?
know. Isn't that
Have you heard anything down
so?
the grapevine? Any
You
more
know,
craziness?
I have
There's a lot.
not heard more, although I get a little um I push the boundaries a little bit with people because I'm like, okay, great, that's out there. But so was Kevin Spacey, so was Weinstein. So like
Yeah.
what is going to really happen with this? However, I do see that people connect the dots now. So for every time one of these stories leaks, someone else is going to be like, oh my gosh, what about this? They open up and awaken a little bit. What do I think will actually come of it? I don't know. Is this going to be another Epstein?
Epstein. Yeah.
They just
Hmm.
put him away and then the story goes away? Or is it really going to take down a lot of them?
I,
I know.
I think he's
I
gonna
don't
sing
know.
like a canary.
I know. You
It's
know?
very see, especially when he's got all these people on tape. And like, man, it's people who go to these
Yep.
parties, and there's like I heard Ellen was at some of these,
Oh,
Justin
yeah.
Bieber, and
They're
then
all well, he
I
was a
heard,
pup. He's a pawn. Pup
yeah,
Bieber was abused, and he's trying to tell
yeah,
people they won't hear. I feel for that one.
yeah,
But
no, for
yeah,
sure.
they passed. You heard that one, right? They did a video of what they were doing to him, and it was bought by all the A-listers. Diddy
Wow.
made millions off of it. So that little thing's got a leak. And he was like the pawn. They wanted to buy the Bieber video, and it wasn't anything special. It was him being passed around.
Oh my God,
It's so crazy, Dustin. So
that
it's
is
like
gnarly.
there's still a lot of people though that they don't want their celebrity crushes to
Yeah,
be tainted. So they're holding on to this, but after a while it's just too much tangible stuff. It's
yeah,
it's it's gnarly.
yeah.
It's so
No, it is. I
gnarly.
just the fact that all these people are getting together, all celebrities, just getting down on the fuck downs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my gosh,
wow,
it's
it's like damn,
crazy.
everybody's just swinging. All right, that's just
Mhm.
all
They're
right.
all freaks.
There's freaks. There's-
They're freaks.
oh
And it's all
man.
blackmail now. It's always
Yeah.
been blackmail.
Well, I heard too that some guy was at a Diddy party and he heard some dudes, messing around and he went into the room and he saw Carl Winslow from Family Matters
Oh my
getting
gosh.
pounded from behind by Diddy. And then later on, Diddy comes up to him again. He's like, "There's nothing better than having him a dude do that to you for money." Just because, like I guess the guy needed money, but Jesus Christ, I would what?
Yeah, it's
No,
not gonna
what?
look pretty. It takes
No.
down 90% of the celebs. I mean, it's the original Playboy Mansion. You heard that's the OG tunnels,
Oh
the
yeah, for
tunnel
sure.
system connected to all the houses. Now they're saying Diddy has a tunnel connected to Jackson, which I always used to
Wow.
vouch for that one because Jackson, to me, Michael Jackson was
Yeah.
since a baby abused,
Oh yeah, sure,
so
sure, sure.
tainted. Are you doing the Michael Jackson? She's doing hee hee. Wrong story, but I appreciate your effort. This is a naughty one. You're gonna have to leave.
Yeah, get out of here. That's funny.
And you can't. Oh yeah, yeah. I think she was. So I I'm curious what happens. But then again, show business still goes on. My giant
Yes.
was on Spider-Man yesterday. There's a whole new Spider-Man being filmed.
Yeah.
So and then there's that effed up dude. I can never my favorite movie when I was young was Better Off Dead. Did you ever
Okay.
see that? Oh my god, I
It
love that
sounds
movie. But
familiar.
John Cusack, but Dan Schneider was in it.
Hmm.
And when his stuff, he's the Nickelodeon producer. When his stuff
Yes.
started leaking about Amanda Bynes and Jamie
Yeah, she looks
Linsky, or
horrible
all of
now,
them.
doesn't she?
Oh my
Holy,
gosh, yeah.
totally.
And yeah,
Man.
he got so many of them, and he's still working. If you
Isn't that
see
weird? Isn't that
that,
weird? I did see
yeah.
that documentary on HBO. That is so wild
Oh,
to me.
there's a documentary on it.
Yeah, about that dude.
I
It's
didn't
on
even know.
HBO.
I'm writing it down.
I'll get you back
I
on the exact
well,
doc. Talks
I
about
again.
Amanda Bynes and stuff. And they actually
Oh
have like
my
little
gosh.
in the like Nickelodeon skits. They put little sexual innuendos in there.
Yes, with drinking
Like with
water,
the
all that stuff. See, I knew
or
that
like
just from
yeah,
crew
the water
talking.
and the pickles. They had the guy with the pickles
Oh,
that always comes in and feeding everybody pickles and shit. Like,
oh my god. Oh, it's so jacked up. I
yeah,
just did that from crew talking. That's where we picked up on this stuff. Just crew saying, this isn't, like the crews, they have to either sign NDAs or look the other way. And then there's some that talk. So it's really, really sad. The kids shows are targets. They're targets and they're just breeding grounds. So most, the ones that are complicit is just sad. I was putting those together, I think, with Q drops back in the 17 days,
oh
in the
yeah,
45. There
sure.
were some about the studios and the kids, and it was just like that's when we started marching, Save the Kids and Hollywood and everything. But his name still on the marquee going with credits. I'm like, you
That's
see
so
why I
weird.
don't get so loud about the Diddy thing, because I'm like, we have to see how this plays out because I don't know who's in control anymore.
Sure,
So
sure.
ugh,
Makes you wonder.
yeah, it makes you
Wow.
wonder.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Where is this world
Ugh.
going?
I
And
know.
then we
I
have
know.
people, we have wars, and we have all these fucking sex crazy fucks, and then I just don't. I mean,
Yeah.
again, it seems like we people have known for a while, and then when it did just totally collapse, it just everybody just went nuts with it and just
Yeah.
spilled their guts. But
Yeah.
isn't it Maxine, that Epstein's little woman that was getting
Oh,
all the
Giselle or
girls?
Ghislaine
Yeah, some
yeah,
shit.
however you say it. She's still out and about,
She's.
right? And
Well, I thought she's in
Soros.
prison. I
uh,
thought they
Oh,
had.
see, that's how much I'm still paying attention.
No, it's
I
just yeah. I thought she would be singing and singing some, telling some names,
mhm.
but I think
My,
she's scared for her life too.
yeah. Well, like even with Diddy, when I hear, yeah, if he's going to sing names, the thing is, the person interviewing him probably has a blackmail listed. Like they're all complicit. The ones that arrest, the ones that are holding them in the jail. Every agency, every industry has been infiltrated. So it's like, is there enough of the good guys now to make the truth be the domino effect? Or is it all just smoke and mirrors? Like, oh, we got one and then this is going to go away. Like, it's mind boggling how big it is, how big it is. Cause there's not the good guys, cops coming in going, hey, FBI raiding going, this is a punishment. We got to arrest this guy. It's 90% of that FBI agency probably going, I was at that party too.
Exactly. I was
Like,
just about to say that. Yeah. And
yeah, they were probably,
politicians and judges and
yeah.
you run into your priest.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What do you start to think about that guy? But no,
You
it's
know
just
who
I'm sorry.
he No, I was trying to find this guy's name. You should probably hit him up. You could probably do an interview with him. Doogie something. Let me see if I can find him. I caught wind of one of his lives once, just this random YouTube dude, because the
Okay.
title was like Hollywood Elite Parties. I got caught in one, and he gave this detail. He's a really good storyteller. So it took a long time to get to the meaty stuff, but you're captivated. But he went to these parties, where you start in one room and you go to the next room and go to the next room and go to the
Oh
next
yeah.
room, and it's
Yeah.
all the seven deadly sins. And then when you get to
Um,
the last one, that's the blackmail room. You just don't know it. And he said he got an invitation. And it was the early 2010, 2012 days of influencers really getting big. And he was here in Hollywood in a park. He moved here for influencing. He had like
wow.
Instagram and YouTube paying for his place. Like he was an influencer, and he and his buddy got at the special invitation. Someone just walked up to him in a park. They went, and his instinct was like, don't do it. Saw a friend saying, I got one of these invitations. And his friend was like, please don't. I've seen people change and never, their life's never the same. It's not a good thing. And the friend he went with, though, was so hungry for fame that he, went all the way to the end. This guy who does the video made it to the last door, but he gives details about each room. And when he had to leave, he just got kicked out and his phone was thrown at him, which was wiped. And he wound up walking around and peeking in a window and describing what he saw. But in line with him were like a famous girl influencer that's out there right now. And I tried to like do this little detective work and figure out which one. And they saw names that you see soon after became big celebs. So they do have
Wow.
this series of tests they go through, and when you get to that blackmail mark, it's almost like no turning back. You become the
Yes.
puppet.
Yeah.
And I know we a lot know that, but hearing his detailed accounts, and then he moved like out of California. He left. He can tell he had detailed moments of he knew when people were in his apartment because they didn't want him to talk. He would
Whoa.
have like the doorknob get switched to the other side. The refrigerator was like up, like weird things that he had to flee. And then it started happening where he lived, like just little random notes, like to remind him not to talk. And here he's got a YouTube channel, but he doesn't give names. So I think that's what protects them. And
Sure.
people try to count and make him sound crazy, but I'm sitting there going, no, I've heard people go through those parties.
Sure.
I didn't have an invitation. I was a guest, but I had this instinct, and we were on our way to a party, of course, way before kids. And everything in me screamed, like I went numb. I could hear my heartbeat, and it was all like, get out, don't go, don't go. And I'm like,
Wow.
so we were stopping. I think they wanted to run in and get some roadies. And I'm like, I'll be right back. And I left. We were in West Hollywood, and I just started walking, going like shaking, like I'm not supposed to go. The next day, my friend had called me screaming, like, how dare you ditches? How dare you? Like just crying, screaming, never heard from them again. And they went dark, other than they became addicts, and nothing good of them happened. They didn't like become stars or anything,
Sure.
but it either makes you or it breaks you. But it's like, can you handle the blackmail or can't you? It's so crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy. And it's kind
I
of reminds me of the movie like Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, 100%. That's
Just
yeah.
like different
Yeah.
levels of this craziness that they introduce you to and see how far you
How far
can
you'll take it.
yeah.
Yeah. Where
Wow.
will they break you? They watch you in those rooms and they see where is your weakness. And then that's where they set you up. And there's like superintendents, there's like police captains, there's
Someone brings
you
in a
name it.
donkey.
Oh my God. That's just across the border here. That's a spring break.
It's just we're gonna have you do something to this donkey. That's the blackmail.
Yeah. I think that's in a Hollywood studio too.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, speaking of Halloween, circling back to that,
Yeah, let's go.
but in between kids, I went to a new studio opened, and so it was a Hollywood party at the new studio. And my favorite costume I ever wore too. It was just amazing. I was one of those Roy Lichtenstein. Like I look like a comic,
Oh,
with the
cool,
dots
cool,
everywhere. It
cool.
was
Oh,
really
that's
really cool
awesome.
costume. It was
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
But I remember I was still always protected, like not just by spirity stuff, but the people I were with were dark mobsters. However, I was the innocent one they liked having around, probably made them feel normal. So
Yeah, we
I
got
they
the real life Betty Boop here.
yes, yes. They spent that whole time taking turns going up to the light booth, like this magical room, but they spent every rest of the time preventing me from doing it. And I'm like, "Well, I wanna check it out." Like, "No, you don't. No, no, no. Here, come on, let's go have a dance." Everything they could do until I was like, "What the hell is going up there?" And it was my one friend, here's this fella who's like my height with this big stash, and I think he was Mario too. He's just looked at me, he looked at me teary, he goes, "Heidi, you don't wanna go up there. I cannot have you go up there and see what's going on." And I felt so like I was mad at them for doing whatever that was happening, and I was just like, "What's going on?" And it's still to this day, I was like, I couldn't even dream up what possibly was, but they did keep me from going up there. Like, "Stay on the dance floor. Here's another drink." I was with them as a friend, but they would not let me go up. So thankful to that, but they're dirty, weird mofos. I don't know what it
Oh,
was, right?
they're doing a bunch of blow off of prostitutes' tits or something.
Oh, I think, oh, that was just happening down. That was in the dance floor.
Oh, that's the dance floor. Oh, shit. All right. Something more twist is going upstairs.
Yes, it
Oh
was,
shit.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because everything else was in the open. That was something else.
Okay. Awesome.
I hope she walked away.
We can only hope. Yeah, that's funny. No, it's so gnarly.
Yeah.
Just the dark side of Hollywood, and the fact that you kind of had your taste, and you're trying to get your fame into being acting and stuff like that. And so I
Yeah.
think you had your close calls, and just maybe you're very
Yeah.
fortunate to people that you did run into in the biz that didn't harm you,
Yes.
didn't take advantage of you. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was
because
always
you were doing it.
directed the other way. Yeah.
You've been doing it for you were young, didn't you? Were in a
Well, yeah, in front of the camera was started really 14, 15. That's when the
yeah,
extra
that's
work
young.
started. And then right around 30 something, when you're so old in Hollywood, you stop getting calls all the time. But I did have called, I was doing more commercial work as like a young mom, but I wasn't even a mom yet. So that's when my friend said, "Why don't you come see what I do behind the scenes?" And I knew what craft service was, but I was like, do I? And she goes, "You know, this is like A-list high-end craft service. It's like gourmet, it's fun, it's budget, it's flowers, it's you are
Yeah.
everybody's mom." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll check it out." And it was like my first job with her and I was in love with it.
Oh,
You're
cool.
literally walking up to the camera and the director. You're working with people you want to work with,
Right.
but you get to dote on them. And I'm
Yes.
like, "Hey, if someone ever really wanted me in there something, I'm in their face. They'll put me in something." And I did occasionally step in and do a line here and there because of that. They're like, "Bring Heidi in. She can be the bartender." I hustled,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I still what felt the best was still working on set and making consistent money because the acting, making a living off that was I never waitressed or anything, but it was risky. Your
Sure.
check you relied on residuals. My mom would really got me into that because when the shift for that was happening, I was like, "Oh my gosh, mom, I feel like I'm giving up on myself because you really have to go all in when you hustle to be in front of the camera."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Why?" She goes, "Since a little girl, you said, one day I'm going to work in Hollywood. I'm going to live there and work in Hollywood. You just didn't say how." And so I'm like, "You're right." So I found behind the scene just as rewarding. And
Sure.
that's when I did the big jobs. So that was really, really fun. But I
Yeah.
didn't see that kind of behavior. I worked with the average peeps who had families.
Yeah.
We were the
Yes.
crew.
Yes.
You didn't, there was the occasional, like when I worked with really, really dark people, they went offset or they went to their after parties or they went somewhere else. And I was just never in that group. So
Sure.
I knew there was
And
something,
again,
but I'm like, eh.
realistically, it's got
Mhm.
to be somewhat of a small group. It's big celebrity names, but it's not all celebrities that are going to Diddy's party. You know what I'm saying? Some of them
Right.
obviously know about Diddy's parties. It's like, man, there's some fucked up, crazy shit. I'm never gonna step my foot in there ever
Yes.
because, or you're just
Yep.
hearing stories down the grapevine. But yeah,
Yeah.
just
And there's always like a countdown. Some do because their managers tell them they have to. They have to make an
oh,
appearance.
sure,
But
sure,
there is a
sure.
certain time that it hits. And some people, that's when you turn into a pumpkin and you go home. And that's when the mood shifts. But it usually you have to go to another place because it's already
Yeah,
set up. And
yeah.
a really good movie. What's that? What the heck's that movie with? Was it Brad Pitt? It was such a good movie. I saw it over when I was sick. It was about old Hollywood and it was filmed really cool. I'll come up with it. I mean, it starts in the roaring 20s and 30s. And the chick who plays Barbie, Margot something, she was the lead in it. Really, really good movie, but it's the
Oh, it's
perfect example.
didn't they
Yeah,
have like
Babylon or
child?
Babylonian or Babylon, I think it was something
Is
like
it?
that. Do you
Okay,
remember?
that
So
sounds
good.
familiar.
And it's the perfect epitome. They get in a car and they go out to the middle of nowhere where there's a mansion, and that's the party.
Yeah.
And so because like those white party videos going around, it's like maybe there's things in corners like that, like the dance floor with the lady. Um, but you do go to this next steps. And then the steps continue until you get to that private VIP,
Right,
VVIP. But
right.
yeah, so some people like just legit go to be in the tabloids to have their name attached and stardom, and then they're like, okay, I made my picture. Some go for 5 minutes and then they go home.
Right.
Others, are there for 4 days.
Yeah. And there's some of the actors are going against the Hollywood. Like I think Corey Feldman's another one that really kind of is very
Hmm.
vocal about being abused as a kid, and they're still doing it today. And
Yeah. I'm just pissed at him. You know, I been to his shows because I knew the bass
did you
player.
really?
Yeah,
You were
he's
a
a
bass player for
horrible
Corey?
performer. No, my good friend
Oh,
was
your
the bass
friend
player
was.
for Corey.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
hilarious. Oh, tell me some
his
stories.
wife. Yeah, I was
Well,
stood up in their wedding and stuff, but he's just a basket case. But
I heard,
wives,
yeah, I heard that he did his recent wife pretty bad because she got sick and he left her because she got sick.
oh,
You hear
jeez.
about that?
I'm not surprised. I'm
That's
not
horrible.
surprised.
I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I
And she was one of
know.
the angel girls that was in his band. And
I
yeah,
know. No, he's a little messy and messed up, but I
yeah.
also am a Corey Haim girl, so I back
Oh
up my
yeah, Corey
boy.
Haim's the shit. Yeah.
He is my dude. So I seen so many people do reads on him and after, and it always resonates to what I felt like. Feldman did him dirty. He
Hmm.
never stood up for him, spoke up for him. And as Haim went down, Feldman would cover for him. Like they that was they're best friends, but Feldman was a wussy, I think.
Hmm.
And he's still playing the game because he's trying to keep pushing his fame card. So he's not talking as much
So
as he
what's up with
could.
that Michael Jackson understudy?
I
What's up with that
know.
shit? Like,
Oh, understudy? What's the understudy thing?
or just to be like, want to be just kind
Oh,
of,
oh, oh,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Sheer obsession. Maybe there was
Yes.
something that happened with yeah, that's another
Because he wants
mental
to like dress
breakdown.
and dance
Oh
like
my god.
Michael all the damn
That's
time. He
that's
just
in
can't get
person
his own
too.
style if you're gonna do your own music, bro. Like,
Yeah. That could be the
it's,
abuse. That could be
yeah,
abused. I always stood up for Jackson because I'm like I said, he was abused since he was a child. But I mean, there's just, I don't know. There's only so much cracking of their mentalities that you can do. And I think Feldman was just not only a pass around Patty, but he's been cracked open so many times. I don't think he
yeah.
even knows who he is anymore.
And he
You
hung out
know?
with the Playboy Mansion a lot. Feldman did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. A lot of
makes
his
you
misses are
wonder.
from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, he promises a lot of people that he does have this little posse around him. That he promises all these people fame and a career, and you're gonna be in my band now. And but yeah, he just keeps falling out with people, and he keeps crash landing his concerts. It's just like,
Oh my God. They're
whoa,
so
bro.
bad.
And it's kind of
Yeah.
fun to watch though at the same time. Like
I know.
I
I
think that
know.
latest music video, it's like he claims himself as a loser, and
Oh
he's just in
gosh, I
these
haven't
80s
seen.
outfits and shit, like just it's just so the
It's a train
choreography
wreck.
is so bad. It's just
Yeah, it's an absolute train wreck. Now I
yeah.
don't know if Randy still is the bass dude. They did move to Texas. I think they were just like, But he was the first round. So when his first live performance, it was this place, what the hell is it called? On Sunset. I don't it's not even around anymore, a club. And he was the performance was like at noon. So you knew he got a deal on renting the space, but he filled it with background actors because to
Mm.
make it look packed. And there were like goodie bags and like all these things of just to make sure you're like, oh wow,
Stay there.
I went to that concert.
Yeah.
But we were just like it was a we just felt more for our friend, and he's like, he did the paycheck. Yeah. He's like, it's a job.
That's funny. I was thinking about trying to get some celebrities on, like, actors. Maybe
Yeah.
I could probably reach out to Corey Feldman and probably get him on because he's just,
Yes,
he just wants
you could.
anybody, just any kind of fame or any kind of spotlight. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's kind of
Yeah.
funny. Actually, I
Jack
reached out to
Osborne would be a good one. Jack Osborne would be a good
oh,
one.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, I
Easy.
reached out to Carrot Top.
Oh yeah.
About like 4 years ago, I went to a Brewer game, and me and my sister were sitting right behind him. And my sister's like, I think we're sitting right behind Carrot Top. I'm trying to look at his face and shit. He's got this big bushy. And I just tap him on the shoulder, and he whipped his head so fast, I thought he was gonna break his neck. And I was like, it kind of scared me. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. I was like, I'm a big fan. I was like, can I get a picture with you? He's like, oh yeah, that's cool. But I scared the fuck out of that dude. He whipped
Talk
his
about
head so
over
fast.
caffeinated. Yeah.
Oh god. But I mean, being a celebrity and you're out in the public, you can never know if this guy's gonna tap you on the shoulder and sucker punch you or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I know.
But no,
Do you,
he was
yeah.
so nice. He was a nice guy. He talked with me and my sister for a second and took pictures, and he was in town for a show, and he was just there to watch the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is too
Do you know
funny.
who I had standing by and he still hasn't replied? I'm going to start stalking you again, Mr. Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy agreed for me to interview him. And I mean, as
Oh,
far as I know, it was him. And we're on social message, and then I go, before you go touring or when you come back, I was doing my babbly thing. I'm like, did I talk too much? Did I scare you away? I'm not a stalker. But we haven't connected yet. And then when
oh,
I met
damn.
Adam Rose, I was trying to get him. He said yes, but then I had to go through his team, and his team, I think, looked at my social media and saw my community strikes and were like, this isn't good for our brand. But Kennedy, he's talking about a lot of cool
Yeah.
things now. You might really want to reach out to him. He's notorious though for, and he says it on his show with his ex, says it all the time, like, you never get back until the last minute, you're a horrible communicator, that kind of stuff. So you got to stay on him a little bit. But I was trying to get
That's
him for a minute.
hilarious.
And then I'm
Oh,
like, I
that'd
just
been
wanted to pick his
cool.
brain.
Yeah, right.
But I was
Nah.
saying, yeah, with Jack Osborne, because he's doing the UFO stuff.
Oh,
And
cool.
he's doing, and so there's a few that actually speak out about, cryptids and UFOs. And I did just
Yes.
interview my buddy Steve Berg, who, what I knew him from improv, and he is an actor, so you might like him too. But he goes to all the conferences, like Bigfoot conferences in the Midwest, and
Yeah.
he's like, he speaks and things. So he's a good one. You can try. He's
I
so
was maybe thinking,
sweet.
I was even
Love him.
thinking about Dan Aykroyd because
Oh
he's
my gosh,
into the UFOs and
Daryl.
ghosts and shit.
Yes. Big Daddy G, if you're watching this. So Midwest Night Watchers, did you connect with them yet? I love them.
No.
Garrel and
No.
Jane, they're in Illinois.
Oh, cool.
Perfect people to know. I have to send you their way, but trying to get them to host something soon. But they're trying to contact Dan for a year and a half now. They're over a year, and I'm like, every time there's 6 degrees because I don't have those contacts. But there is a gal on Facebook that works at the pot shop they co-own, so they're trying to
Oh,
get
cool.
her to set him up. But he'd be a great one to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
manifest that for you and Garrel
That'd
and
be
Jane.
great. Yeah, because I know he does, like, he promotes that vodka skull
Yeah,
product in a lot of the podcasts he does. Yeah, again, I just love, I don't know if you've seen his documentary about how he got into the UFO field and have his own experiences and stuff like that. And it's really good. I can
I
send you,
haven't
I
seen
think
that. Garrel told
it's
me about that, but
it's
yeah,
I think it's
I
on
haven't seen.
YouTube. I can
Okay,
send you the link to
I'm gonna
that.
reach
It's
out.
really good.
Sure,
It's just more
I love
you,
him.
yeah, and there's tons of video and pictures while he's talking. So it's really a lot of visual stuff while he's
That's
talking. It's
awesome.
just great. It's just like, yes. And then just to hear more of his background story and how he got interested in, and he's just so knowledgeable. He knows so much shit. It's stupid.
Yeah,
And I love how,
yeah.
like, his characters kind of morphed into his hobbies, like the Coneheads, right? Like
Oh, the best.
the
My
best.
sister was a Conehead for Halloween.
Oh, cool.
Like when she was 10.
That is awesome.
It was so
Um,
good. Yeah, they're
yeah,
geniuses.
yeah, and Ghostbusters and just being in the paranormal in general, and then just having to fall
Yeah.
in love with that like subject and taking it seriously,
Yes.
you know. And
Yes.
I think more people should take it seriously,
I know.
and
Yes.
just to hear
Totally.
him out and his theories, and yeah, again, these a lot of these actors are geniuses too. Like
Yeah.
you just
Like
never
great
think,
artists. Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm. And a lot of those, you don't see a lot of them tied to those crazy parties.
exactly.
Just
Yep,
saying.
yep.
Just saying.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely reach out to them, Dustin. You does
Yeah.
couldn't hurt to try. I mean, we have to figure out how you can reach Dan Aykroyd, but reach out to anybody you can whenever you can. Doesn't
Yes.
hurt to try. Yeah.
No.
I'm excited for you.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, we just made it up to about an hour here, but yeah,
Okay.
I definitely want to have you back to have these chit chats because
Please.
I think it's so good and it's fun just to kick the laughs and the shit and just to keep up with you because I just love what you do and I love your personality and just again
Oh,
everybody
thank you.
I introduce you to or I tell people about you, they love your personality. It's like, yeah, I love Heidi Pop. Heidi Pop this, Heidi Pop that. Everyone wants to see Heidi.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
in the top
Thank you
little.
very much. It was so
Yes.
funny. I had a DM once and this person's like, "I've seen a lot of your stuff, but you can tell me what's your real name?" They kept thinking it was not my name. I'm like, "It's on my damn birth certificate, dude. That's my name. I'm meant to be a Hattie Pop.
That is
I would
great.
not lie about that." Yeah, so thank
Well,
you.
cool.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dustin. That was
Yeah.
fun.
That
Yeah,
was
I'll
super
try
fun.
another wardrobe. I'll try to
Yeah.
I'm
Next
like
time. I was gonna say people are gonna be melting if they see the next one. Let me tell you that.
Yes, stand by.
All right.
I'll
Well,
get
stay
my
with me
old
for.
1990 Victoria's Secret water bra out.
Oh, dang. Stay tuned, kids. All right. Well, stay with me for 2 more minutes.
Okay.